Hey guys, this is John here in Los Angeles on Wednesday, June 26th, 2024. The Alpha Channel update, just checking in with you guys. And today I want to show off Conan 193. Take a look at Conan 193 by Jim Owsley and Val Semeiks, I guess is how you say his name. Val did the cover. And he did this inside splash page for Shidu. And wait till you find out what this episode is about. So now this is credited a little bit differently than usual. It is by James C. Owsley and Val Semeiks. Val Semeiks. By James C. Owsley and Val Semeiks. You can see down here. So they came up with this together. They did this together. Whether they did it by mail or by phone or in person. It's a pretty good story. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to make the same sort of racist comments I made yesterday. The beginning here is a sort of relatively wholesome relationship between Conan and his new girlfriend. I believe her name is Anika. And it's, she gives the guardsman a little full frontal. But other than that, she's a relatively, one guy sort of girl. And she's really well drawn by Val Semeiks. And the story advances quickly, so you get a cover, right? You get a cover, a splash page of Conan threatening someone. You find out he's chasing his girlfriend, and they're having a nice afternoon swimming. And the guardsmen come up and say, Conan, hey, we gotta go. Bad guys are coming. We immediately cut to one page of the villains, an evil prince and the sorcerer, which is perfect. This is perfect. This is a comic book. This is a cartoon. And they are picture perfect, evil prince and sorcerer. Basically Prince John from Robin Hood and the evil snake. And they have summoned a real demon. They have hired someone a little bit more dangerous than they are. And now they have to deal with him, and they're sending him after Conan. He is the Devourer. I love his helmet. I love everything about this bad guy. He immediately uses the sorcerer as a sacrifice to call a bigger demon and get a favor from him. So the Devourer, right? Like, this is good writing. Whoever did this is good writing. The Devourer shows up to deal with this prince and sorcerer. And he's like, well, we got to call this other demon. He's got this Shidu that I need. And to get the favor from the other demon, the Devourer first gives him the sorcerer. Then the other demon gives the Devourer the globe with the Shidu inside. And the Devourer owes this other demon a favor. So I love this, this vertical 2-page spread. It really works for this. It's hell, after all. Here we have a Spider-Man and Captain Crunch mystery I did not read. And now we skip to a lute player in a small town that had once not worshipped Mitra, and then they got conquered by Mitra, and then the old guys threw the Mitra guardsmen out but left the temple. And now we have a lute player in a bar. When Caleb shows up. Caleb is a servant of Conan. Caleb is like Conan's Silver Surfer. Caleb and his daughter. Conan is a warlord in this one. He has a whole army behind him. And they know this Devourer of Souls are coming. Caleb and his daughter go to this town and basically draft the townspeople. Tell them, hey, your commander is on his way. Prepare the town. And the townspeople give some pushback. This is like a third story. This is that sort of braided storyline that you see in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Anytime the romance, so this starts off with a romance, but we know the romance is not the story. What the romance is, in this case, is an establishing scene to show that Conan, has a hot girl with him that he likes and is in a relationship with, and he has responsibilities to an army who can come and interrupt him at any time, and he will get dressed and go help them. So, not knowing anything else about this, last one I read was 180, I can jump in and be completely enamored of this book. The art is amazing. The lute player and Caleb are both well drawn. They're really kind of characters you might find in a samurai story. I believe Semeiks is probably Eastern European, and they share some similar cultural stuff I've noticed in the way religion and society is structured and how much respect there is for authority in the average society member. So, and what I mean by that is this guy Caleb, in his world, wouldn't hesitate to come in and show up in a town and expect the guardsmen to obey. Now, the fact that the guardsmen disobey is really sort of Western civilization, North Africa, the Middle East. The fact that he has a fight on his hands is really, Celtic, barbarian sort of Western civilization at this time. In Conan's day, when they were still writing, they didn't have a written history at that point. It was an oral history. So here is Caleb and his daughter when he knocks down all the pillars of the house, and apparently she's safe. The devourer is coming. He's literally on the horizon. Like, if that is not symbolic, hey, your town is under attack. Conan's coming from one direction and the devourer is coming from the other. He's on the horizon. Like, that is really good art. And here the devourer sends out his Shidu, these wisps, these demons who can possess anything. They fly right past Caleb and his daughter, and they're looking for Conan. And they literally, up here on the second page, we have, this is so Eastern European. This is tarot cards, this is Romania, this is Italy, Greece, this is that sort of culture. We have the wandering fool, although in this story he is a father of 6. He gets hit by the Shidu and possessed, and now he is a harbinger of death. This is just amazing comics. This is right out of Ninja Scroll, when Genma and those guys poison the one village with cancer, and by the electric cord, the one guy possesses the girl and has her walk to the next village and warn them about the cancer. That's really what's going on here, although this is sort of an electric possession, like Fallen. This is a lot of the elements of Fallen, or the Bible, because wait till you see what they possess next. Well, they possess Conan's soldiers, who throw a lasso around his neck and drag him off his horse. And they also, this is pretty intense, they run those soldiers off a cliff, just like Jesus did with the infected swine in the Bible. That's something else you get a lot in Eastern European, Polish, sort of Romanian myths. You get a lot of allegories that are parallels to the Bible. And I appreciate that because Jesus is one of the best heroes of all time. Here we have the demon possessing Conan's girlfriend and cutting her own wrists. Conan has managed to cut the in these panels up here, Conan cuts the cord around his neck, but he's not able to save his soldiers from running themselves off a cliff. And he's not able to save his girlfriend from being possessed by the demon and murdering herself while she's laughing. Which, I would be a hypocrite not to point out that for Alpha Channel, our tagline is Die Laughing. So if you gotta go, And our thing is a skull. And my friend of mine, whose story I'm working on, he's making all the skulls in the world possessed by demons. So here's Caleb and his daughter again explaining stuff to the local villagers about this. A priest, they're taking shelter in this Mitra's priest of Mitra's temple. Mithra. I don't know if it's Mitra or Mithra in this. Doesn't really matter. It's the same sort of Jesus story. He's really a Jesus allegory for the prehistoric times. Here is more of the demon and the girl. And the demon senses something in her, like an X-Men character. And then we get to Conan. And Conan is now faced by possessed hogs, just like in the Bible, or just like in the cover here for Conan 193, by Val Semeiks and Jim Owsley. I think Val Semeiks did a lot of the plotting and Jim Owsley filled in the words. Basically wrote in the letter balloons wrote the script, and then had someone else letter it. God, you must have felt like a third wheel on this one, huh? There's not one degenerate whore in here. So, and the demon is straight out of, Catholic mysticism. So, I guess he's in some other Marvel books. He's an established character. It's not like this guy created him. But I'm loving Val Semeiks. I think this is like his second or third Conan book, and I looked him up on Comic Book Realm, and he's working on Conan for the next 20 or 30 issues, so I'm going to enjoy that. Here's an ad for the Nom, which we have to talk about. I have to catch my breath and mention because I need to look it up. The Nom, and I have some, it has amazing real-world vehicles and backgrounds with very cartoony characters. So I need to look into that. Meanwhile, the demon, the devourer, is giving this guy a hard time, Caleb. And then Caleb exposes that he is a musclehead himself, probably a descendant of one of the gods, like Hercules, the way he's dressed, the way he acts. You know what? This is interesting that Caleb is here and that Conan is here. There are two different kinds of naturals. Conan is natural strength, but Caleb seems like natural, born to royalty, like naturally half divine. So that's going to lead me into what I want to talk about after this. But I do want to turn the next page because after Conan fights the swine, Conan, look at this picture up here of his face. Conan has to fight a living mountain. That's right out of Paradise Lost. But he's determined to kill it because they killed his girlfriend Anika. So I cannot wait to read the next issue. I don't think I have 194, but I'm gonna buy it before too long, and we will review it here. Because this leads me what I want to talk about, and naturals, and scammers, and a true alpha versus a natural alpha. True alpha, when I was in the Marine Corps, and they said there's two kinds of Marines. There's grunts and gazelles. And grunts are guys who it's hard for them. They may not be the most athletically gifted, but they struggle through. And gazelles are the natural athletes who don't put forth any effort and just breeze through the course. And they said the Marines don't need gazelles, they need grunts. Gazelles get hurt and then they're no good to anyone, whereas grunts will get hurt and muddle through and accomplish the mission anyhow. And I am not a gazelle because of my eyes. So I was never a gazelle growing up. I was always the last kid picked for any afternoon sports. And that made me struggle. That made me work twice as hard as everyone to get anything, to get any progress. I don't regret that. It's just the way it is. I was never going to fly a jet. You know what I mean? I've been doing this long enough and edited myself long enough to have seen my eyes look crossed often enough to know I never would have made it as an actor. That's something you can't edit around. You could give the best performance in the world, but if you're, Robbie, I don't even wander eye. I don't know a joke for that. It's something no one's ever teased me about. I got teased for being skinny the whole time I was a kid. I never got teased for having stupid eyes. Just, it is what it is. So there's the Conan natural. There's the Caleb natural. And, I found out that Tom Brady, I don't really follow sports, but I found out that Tom Brady got drafted last. There's the Caleb natural and the Conan natural. And so that's struggle, you know what I mean? He didn't grow into his best athletic self until after college. That's pretty hardcore. Here we have, I'm going to talk about all this, and it's interesting that this Wildwood Tarot card for today plays directly into what I want to talk about. So part of my struggle is never experiencing this since my early 20s. This is a card for boredom. Look at this poor girl. The Four of Cups, the Four of Vessels, boredom. How can you be bored when all your cups runneth over? And I love the tree on the background. The tree on the background is exactly what I'm working on with a story I'm working on with a friend of mine that crosses over with my stories. my stories here on YouTube. 26 hours of amazing audiobooks. You've never heard anything like it, which could be a great thing or a bad thing. You won't forget them. The Legend of Ashley Fox and the Legacy of a Mad Scientist. Her father, as a teenager, creates a healing compound, and then as an adult, creates a mental computer interface called the Micronics, and mind-computer interface exchange called the Micronics. Those are awesome, and we have a comic book out there too for you to download and take a look at and make fun of. But that leads me to what I want to talk about, struggle versus natural. So if I was a natural and didn't have to struggle, I might not still be working as hard as I am. Not being a natural and having to work super hard for all the gains that I've got in my life and everything I've accomplished has taught me to embrace that and to always be learning. I've never gotten stagnant. I'm constantly working on something new. I'm either in a new martial art or accomplishing some new literature medium, having published the novels and audiobooks and working in comics, working in illustration and doing all this. I'm so happy. I'm so in love with the world. I don't mind that there are wannabe petty tyrants trying to run things and ruin things for other people. It's a good struggle to have. When you put chains on someone, you make them stronger. You don't necessarily slow them down that much because eventually they're going to find a way out of the chains and be that much stronger without them. So that's where I'm at. Which leads me to part of this natural versus struggle thing, right? The guys who struggle are the eternal suckers. The natural doesn't go in for supplements. Maybe he does, but he doesn't need to. He shouldn't go in for supplements and scams and plans and diet plans. And the reason people are able to sell diet plans and supplements is because so many of you guys do not buy, and I mean buy, I mean pay for the lessons about hard work and discipline. Discipline in your diet and hard work of working out. I already did my chest workout today. I'm not going to take off my shirt and show off, but I look like I'm doing steroids or some kind of creatine or something. I have a full 32 pack and I'm pretty ripped for my weight. And this is my everyday walking around. I look like this all the time because I work out all the time. It's just my everyday. I work out 3 days on, 1 day off, unless I'm hurt. And then I tried to do 2 days on, 1 day off. This wedding had me down for 3 days, but I was hurt right before the wedding, so I took off extra more time. But now I've just did my 3rd day back on, so I'm back at it, no harm, no foul. Consistency is everything. Consistency in life is the most important lesson anyone can ever teach you. That is what discipline is. Discipline is eating brown rice instead of white rice. Eating your vegetables. Don't have Cinnabon. Don't remember what ice cream tastes like. Mostly, I confess, I said that on here earlier as a brag, like I was a badass. You know what? The truth is, my fucking freezer's broken, so I don't have any ice cream because all I have is a fridge and it would fucking melt. But I wouldn't buy it anyhow, even if I had a freezer. I might buy frozen orange juice because I'm a cheap motherfucker, but I'd probably just buy oranges and grind them up and have fresh orange juice. I like that more. In which case, that's waste because then I'm throwing oranges away. So instead I buy those cuties where you just rip the peel off with like no effort and eat the whole thing in like one bite. So just out of laziness. I'm in good shape out of laziness. I work out. Think about that. I'm not a natural at anything. I would be skinny, miserable, worthless piece of shit. But because I don't have health insurance, I work out hard, and because I only have a fridge, I eat right. So, these are the compromises you will make. This is art with no money. Do your art with as little or no money. Barry Windsor Smith did his first 11 issues of the X-Men in the park. Sitting in the park. Maybe not 11, but 4 issues, because he was in New York, so how many can you get in the park before it's winter? And I guess then he went to the public library, so... and public library would be genius because you could just go find all the reference material. You could just go walk. Oh, I need to see a picture of a giraffe. How do their legs bend? How long is the foreleg to what's the proportions? Man, Now we have the internet. There's no excuse, and people are still using AI. You fucking lazy bastards. You fucking lazy bastards. So I get that AI is okay for thumbnails only. I'll agree to that. You know, the other thing about naturals is they're very hard to teach, and it's very hard for them to teach other people. People who internalize skills too early on and master them by the time they're like 16 are basically worthless as adults when it comes to teaching that skill to other adults. They get stuck in whatever career for 10, 20, 30 years, and then it comes time to articulate this stuff to someone else, and all they can do is look at that other person and say, you didn't dedicate the time to this. Knowing that they dedicated so much time to it, they're worthless at everything else, and the rest of their life is often in shambles. I know this because I'm one of these people. I've dedicated my life to this medium, and it's all I've focused on. To the detriment of everything else. I've sacrificed everything else to do the best novels, the best audiobooks, and I don't feel the least bit bad about it. I'm as happy as a clam. And maybe I am super selfish. I know that's probably true. I haven't asked someone else to sacrifice their life for my dreams. Unless my dreams were making the cash, that's really a not fair trade. So if I have to struggle this entire lifetime, that's okay. That's perfectly okay. I'd rather be this person than the other person. The person that I've seen other people be, where they're miserable because they're not able to chase their dreams. They're not able to dedicate themselves fully to what they believe in. That's a life worse than death. So Jim Owsley, you know what? I bag on you for being a black guy writing a white guy in comics, but congratulations for breaking in. Congratulations for doing the work. I love my work. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. And Val Semeiks, however you say your name, I'm super impressed. I can't wait to see the rest of your work. The rest of you guys, what the fuck? Where's your shit? Show me. I want to see it. I want to read it. Right now I'm reading Sync by Comics Tribe. I'm collecting the issues. I have a few, and I'm gonna get to those once I get to a break in this. Sync generates an entirely different feeling than Conan. I think you guys can tell by my energy in these what I love about the Conan stories. Aside from the fact that it's cartoon colors, I mean, look, it's all orange and red and pink, and this is McDonald's. This is McDonald's paperback, right? The demon's the right colors. I love that they used the magenta and blue as opposed to the orange from last time where I bagged on them. I love the old village. This could be an Adolf Hitler painting. He painted some beautiful watercolors of old villages. And I love this character, Caleb. He's right out of Ninja Scroll or any of the samurai stuff. This is just a great issue. And I bought this myself. I'm sure I read this a long time ago when I was in my early teens, or maybe even younger than that. I don't know when I bought this, if this was new on the rack or if I bought this old. But I'm sure I bought this myself. So yeah, I know all these ones that are coming up I've bought myself. There's a whole stack over here, but these are a few of these are all mine. So yeah, here they changed the font again. And I'll be picking up a new eBay lot because I want to, before we get up to we're almost at 200 now, and that really upsets me that I've only got maybe 30 under 200. Savage Sword is a different story, but those aren't in color, so yeah, I don't know what else to say. Love you guys. Hope you're having an awesome summer. I hope you're out having fun, really. I hope you guys are doing something awesome with your life. Tell me about it. Skating, martial arts. So yeah, anyhow. All right, see you guys. Bye.